Okay. Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile 1. Not really discussion so much as a little bit of an example of how to make a loot filter go. In the background, you may hear the Path of Exile load screen music going. That is because I am trying at the moment to get into the queue. I have patched already, but the queue has not yet opened. Sorry for the earlier sound issues. Those of you that are here live, hopefully I'll be able to trim that out once this goes into a normal video on demand afterwards. So yeah, just a little bit of funniness there that went on. The goals here are that we want to just make 2 loot filters. The first one of them is for pretty much the campaign up to about Lab 4, and this is actually a really easy process now. The second one of these is going to be Lab 4 to Day 1 farming. So the first thing to note is we're going to be working over on Neversink's website, filterblade.xyz. And because I'm going to be playing in softcore trade enabled, I'm going to start with the softcore trade enabled settings. The process of making a loot filter that is designed to be something you can use just during the campaign and that doesn't require much work is trivial. But I'll go through it here so that you know how to do it. Firstly, just click auto adjust for build, campaign. Go through here and say, all right, what types of items do I care about? And here I'm going to go custom because I'm going wand attack. Although I am going to be a fire Templar at points, but I do want to have, I want to be showing all wands, I want to be showing all shields, and defensively, I am mostly interested in things that are either armor ES, pure ES, maybe I can use evasion ES or pure armor as well. I don't really want pure evasion, I don't really want armor evasion. Now, from a what do I want a vendor, I am probably going to I'm going to go with where we are here, show a few more things up to level 24, and then if that's too much, that's okay. It's just day 1. That's really easy. So, wow, isn't that easy? We're done. We have literally done so starting with semi-strict, which is very not strict. It's important to note that Neversink's terminology here is based upon what makes sense for a rookie player, not what makes sense for veterans. So when Neversink says semi-strict, he means very, very loose by veteran player standards. When Neversink says very strict, he means not even strict by veteran player standards. That's okay though, it's day 1. We kind of want to be showing lots of stuff. So at this point, we go to export to PoE. Now, there's a couple options you can do here, and essentially I'm just going to put in a name and I'm going to download this locally. What I suggest you do, you probably want something slightly different to what I do, so go and make your own from scratch just on filterblade.xyz. It is that easy. So I'm going to name this. This is going to be day 1, very permissive. So permissive being sort of the opposite of strict in this context, and I'm not going to bother making it findable. Well, it might be public, but it won't be that findable. And then I want to save and download. Now, it looks like there is a pathofexile.com alert there. That's fine. That's not very important. That just means I can't post it up to the Path of Exile website. I'm not trying that. A couple of questions about what build I'm playing in the background. I am going to be going with something very close to Pelsteron's Kinetic Fusillade Wand Attack Totem Templar build. I'm going to start very closely aligned to that, but I will deviate quite a bit during the way. And also, I hate using Rolling Magma, so I'm probably not going to level with Rolling Magma. Even though Fireball's slower, I'll probably just use Fireball instead, because, like, no, just Rolling Magma, no. No. Hate that skill. It's just, yeah. Pelstron is more willing to suffer for optimization than I am. Let's put it that way. Now, that's our day 1 filter done. Our first half of day 1. Our second half of day 1 filter, this is also really easy, and this is going to be such a simple process now. What we're going to do is we're going to start with uber strict, and this is going to show things with quite a bit less of it than you used to. However, divination cards, I tend to want more of these to show than Neversink generally does. So I'm going to put them on strict. That gets rid of the worst common cards. So 1/3 of a Varlorb, 1/8 of a Chaos Orb should not be showing in this situation. And whilst there's a bunch of cards you're not that interested in beyond day 1, I'm actually fine with picking up things like 1/4 of a maybe it's 1/8 of a divination distillate on day one, so that's fine. Uniques, I like very strict here. It shows more than you want at endgame proper, but early on there's just a fair few of them that are good. Currencies I usually like to start this around very strict as well. I think that's the one where uber strict on currencies. Now the reason I'm doing this here is that actually no, I'm gonna modify this later. Let me just start with that. I'm gonna modify the currencies later. I want to show alterations longer than Neversink likely does. Recipes and link gear. This is very strict. I want to see 5 links day one, but I don't want to see them for very long after that. Regular rares. Here we're going to be uber strict. I only really want the best of the best. Veiled rares, I'm willing to see more because there's more likelihood. I'm not going to encounter very many of them anyway. I'm not speccing for it, but I'm more likely to want these. Crafting bases are going to go with uber strict and reassess those. Memory stranded items, I'm going to go just with strict because they got buffed. They might be more useful than they've been in the past. Fractured and synth, these are rare enough. I don't really care about them being spammed. Gear exotic, I don't really care about that getting spammed. Leveling is not going to matter. Scarabs and fragments, I kind of want to show almost everything, but except for the worst of the worst. And High Sanctum logbook, these are rare enough that I don't really mind there. So that's your starting point. And yeah, people in chat are commenting about different preferences they've got. Those preferences are for good reasons. So someone's saying, I want to play solo self-found, therefore you want to pick up all the uniques you don't have yet. That's a very good reason to to deviate from what I'm doing. It's important to note that, like, if you're playing solo self-found, you probably go there at first. And then once you've got a few of the uniques, once you've got almost all the tier 4 and 5 uniques, then you're good. Now at this point, we want to go through and modify things. Firstly, there is no reason, I don't think, anymore to have Chaos Orbs sing. Chaos Orbs, I do want to pick them up, but they've lost a reason for existing, really. So Chaos Orbs, they're just like alterations now. They have their uses, they are genuinely useful, but they're not going to be worth anything. Now, I want to look for where our lower currencies that are useful to have in early days are. Chromes and alterations, I'm actually going to show these. Yep, I know they're cheap, but that doesn't matter. Single Jeweler's Orbs, no. Single Jeweler's Orbs are just not worth picking up, except early on. Yes, queue is up, apparently. Thank you all for letting me know about that. I got in 4,860th because of the legends in chat that told me when the queue was up. That's definitely very, very good to get in at that point. And then after this, we have Chance Orbs. We no longer need them like we used to. Like, you need them during the acts for a couple of gems, but you no longer need them to buy stuff off Kirak in any bulk, so I don't think they're going to be important unless Scouring Orbs end up filling some of the trade role that previously was held by Chaos Orbs. So there we go. Otherwise, I think that's my currency starting point. We're probably going to need to change things. Something that's of note is that Instilling Orbs can't be... you'll get a warning when you set this up if you nerf Instilling Orbs because they were too low in previous settings. And now we have our stack currencies are done. We have our other sections I like to change around a bit. Divination cards. I want to just check this here. So I don't want these singing. I want these just to drop silently. This is my preference for lower tier divination cards. I'm never sad to miss one of these, but a lot of them can be like more valuable early on. Like a Chilling Wind, for instance. Not so much this league, but this is a divination card that can be worth something quite often early on. Lots of things like that will sort of show up here. This league, I think a lot of the gem ones will be a lot worse. And E-tier currency rewards. I think there is absolutely nothing here I want to see. Maybe the deal. Just in case, I'm going to put the deal up. And these I'm going to hide. These ones I'm going to actually hide. Gem Cutter's Promise I might show early on. The rest of this, I think, is just... like, this is stuff that's not worth turning in. Whereas something like Triskaidekaphobia, something like the Whiteout, I'm quite happy to see, even though it might not be worth all that much. New unknown cards, we'll find out details on those soon. And in fact, we'll get to see a bunch more. Scarabs. Every scarab visible, not every scarab needs to make a sound. No sound, good. No lights for these. Funny thing is that this tier, everything here is rare, right? Delirium Scarab of Mania isn't rare. Torment Scarab is common, but Radiant Storms and Abyss Scarab of Profound Depth are very rare. They could end up being expensive, but for the moment, they've not been popular in the past. Let's put it that way. We'll show everything silently for the low tier splinters there, and then we'll just have a look. Gold, yeah, that's all fine. I don't need to see the small piles of gold. You do run past a bunch of them a lot of the time. And heist materials, blueprints. Are these singing? Are they quite visible? Yes, good. That's what you want to see. I actually don't know this league, how rogue markers are going to end up. No, I'm not going to bother with them. They're not that important. All right, and really that's basically where we are. Just make sure that we're showing our 5 links are showing, yes, and the other thing I need is 6 socket items, which will be in vendor recipes earlier. Vendor recipes in general. So, chromatic orbs, nothing showing, good. Gem cutters prisms are here. I have a preference here that, especially this league, I want to show these things. But they can show silently. They don't need to sing, they just need to be on screen. People asking in chat, yes, the patch is live for download and you can get into queue at the moment. Or at least I was able to get into queue. Okay, 6 sockets. 6 sockets, 5 links I want to show. Day 1, I'm just trying to think how the 6 socket economy is going to play out this league. So we don't have anything we know about that's disgorging a lot. Okay, day 1, I'll pick up 6 sockets, but I want them to be silent. They will be seen, they will not be heard. No sound. Yeah, okay, that's all fine. That's not particularly visible. It's not particularly intrusive. In the past, I found that these have been too intrusive on Neversink's default settings. All right, now let's do a quick simulation. Go to higher level and generate loot. We're just doing this a couple of times with trash tier loot. And I want to change my mapping. I want to change maps. I like having all maps visible early on, especially with the changes that are going on there. So we'll do that in a sec. Maps need a bit of work. Now, is this over-qualityed, or is this just showing because it's a second best base? I'm not sure I want second best bases showing loudly. Oh, memory strands. That's why it's showing. Okay. That's fine. Memory strands are not that common. Okay, Veldo map. Huh. Okay, that's intriguing to see there. Let's just go and fix that map thing that we saw there. Customize. I like to show all maps silently because then it's not very intrusive. Also, unique maps. Is every single unique map... I'm not sure what that is. Normal map progression. Okay. Can you please be silent? You're silent. Excellent, 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 excellent. These are going to stop dropping at some point, but I do want to have excess maps early on. I've never said to have excess maps. Also, these can be silent. I don't really need them making a sound except if they're over level. At least I'll have the sound on the 16s. And then I think this should probably give everyone that's watching a bit of a sense here as to exactly the sort of thought process that I follow when I'm making a filter. I basically have a few sort of central vibes, and Neversink has changed a bunch of things to make it easier than it used to be. Now I've downloaded, I've given that the wrong name. It's just called very permissive. I'll change that locally on my PC. So now I've got these two set up, and that's going to be available. We're kind of ready to go at this point. Very easy process. If you've missed parts of this, I would suggest just going back to the start and having another look, as this is definitely not a difficult thing to do, but do it yourself. This is something where it's really worthwhile to be able to just come up with your own filter rather than going with exactly what I'm doing. Question in there, how do you hide weapons that you won't use during leveling? The answer to that is in the very start when you're selecting in the overview, here, when you click auto adjust for build, it will default to being very, very, very permissive of the types of items that you select there. So for my first filter, which is a leveling one, it's going to show pretty much all the ones. My second filter, which is a not leveling one, it's going to be very stingy on showing them. Dimitri's asking, will there be a possibility to follow this filter from my PoE account? I don't think I can set that up at the moment because the Path of Exile site is down. Additionally, I really recommend that you don't follow someone else's filter unless you understand the exact choices they've made, because I'm going to overhaul this, probably day 3. I'm going to really, really change this. Apparently I missed the sounds for tier 12 maps. You know what? I'm going to leave them on there because that's going to be funny. I'm going to get confused as to why tier 12 maps have got weird sounds on them. That's going to be funny. So yeah, some of you have joined this late. If you're in that situation, one of the things I like about streaming to YouTube for something like this is you can rewind it. That's the reason I'm doing it here rather than over on Twitch. I will be going live on Twitch quite soon, and that will replace the YouTube stream. I'm not going to try and sort out all the technical stuff related to multi-streaming. That's something that's a complete and utter mess. The last thing though that I want to do is take a quick look and see if PoEDB has been updated yet. It has. Okay. It is time to see if we've got any more information here. This will be, if there is anything, no, it doesn't look like there is. I was going to say this might have become a spoiler warning, but it isn't, because we don't seem to have information data mineable yet. Unless, if we go and, I'm just going to check one of the divination cards. I think Reflection of the Heart is one of the new cards, and just see if we've got any information of this in on the page. Oh, PoEDB might actually be down, or being over. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on exactly here. It looks like nothing is coming up here. Anyways, the key thing is that we're not able to look at anything much over on PoEDB yet. There is a new vendor recipe. A lot of people are speculating it's a 3-for-1 on the astrolabes, but I don't know what that is. So that's the process. That's the thought process I use when I'm making a loot filter. Very simple. As I said, I'm not recommending that you copy this directly. What I might do at this point is wind up the stream. My future plans for content today, I'm going to be playing the game, obviously, for many hours. After I've sort of gotten myself to the point that that there's a few discoveries to report on, I'll make a YouTube video covering those. And also, the key thing is, though, that the Twitch promo is, from a streaming perspective, the Twitch promo is too lucrative not to be on Twitch today. That's just the way that YouTube... Oh, sorry, that's just the way that GGG's current promos with MTX work. So I've kind of got to go over there. If you wanted to, make your own filter, I highly recommend doing that. And it's way easier than it used to be, and it's been easy for a long time now. I think we're kind of done at this point. I'm going to go and delete the first few seconds of this when we had the sound issues. Otherwise, may your volatile Valorbs have the results you deserve. And I'll catch you all around. Possibly over on Twitch, but possibly just with the catch-up videos on the news and the like.